Music matters. Grave secrets.
What up?
What's up?
How we doing today, guys?
Good, man. Stoked to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. The first podcast, we were officially sponsored by Yerb. Give me that. Let's crack them.
Hey.
Let's do it.
God is good. Oh, wow. That was in like unison.
Cheers.
Look at that. How are you guys doing today? What you been up to?
Nothing, man. Just today actually went to the gym this morning. Almost didn't go again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a struggle to go every time.
You said almost didn't go again.
Yeah, but I made it. Feel good. So I was like a little bit late, but
Hell yeah. No, it's worth it. That's well worth it.
Yeah.
We were talking before about your fitness and stuff. You said like normally like as a job what you do is you're a coach?
Yeah, I coach. I teach kids, adults. Yeah, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Do you still like practice it as not a coach? Like will you ever go to the gym by yourself?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
Every day.
I'm gonna move this a little bit closer to you.
Oh, for sure.
That's gotta help on the road and stuff too. I
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah. Try to keep the same routines, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the last store we went to, like we woke up in the morning, went to the gym, worked out.
Damn.
yeah.
Does that make performing easier? I'm sure it like helps a lot with the nerves and stuff, huh?
I mean, I think just from like a headspace, like I've never been a gym guy ever. I fucking hated the gym.
Yeah.
But because of this guy, like just seeing him, he's fucking ripped, and just like our drummer too, he got really into working out, and just seeing like the transformation, not just physically but mentally, it inspired me to go. So then since I started going, it fucking helps your mind, like it just clears your head, and you just feel stronger. Mentally is really what it is for me.
I don't want to assume, but you do have a song called Anxious. Have you struggled with like anxiety and stuff in the past, and how has the working out kind of affected that?
That's literally why I go.
Okay,
'Cause
gotcha.
So like I'm always just anxious and tense, and like we're thinking about a week from now, tomorrow, like what needs to happen, what I need to do. And going to the gym just helps me like relax and chill out for a second and like collect my thoughts. And then I sit in the steam room too.
Oh.
And I feel like the steam room, like, dude, there's some guys in there they're like old.
Yeah.
And they're like butt ass naked. And bro, but they'll sit in there for like, I don't know, like an hour, dude. And like it takes time. You got to like start, 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But anyway, like now I've worked myself up to being able to sit in there for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And that's where I think it's like my deepest thoughts come out in there. The most tough situations I'm dealing with come out in the sauna or in the steam room or whatever it's called. And I, for some reason, can always figure out what my next course of action is after thinking about it in there.
That sounds like a superpower.
It's like a chamber, like the hyperbolic time.
Yeah.
From Dragon Ball Z. You come out and you just have the answers. That's how I feel.
Is the goal like length? I didn't know that at all. I've never been in a steam room. I always like from the outside. I just thought it was like a hot tub situation. I didn't know that it was like supposed to be hard.
I mean, I don't know. Dude, I'm not the person I'm not the spokesperson for it. For me, it's fucking hard to stay in there longer than 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's like hell, dude.
You're just really sweating, huh?
Yeah, it's like scary sometimes too. Like, what if the door locks and I pass out and I die in here? Or like, what if this guy next to me decides to just kill me and nobody could hear anything because we're in this like closed room? But
do you ever talk to the guys in there? Like, will you ever spark up a conversation, or is it like you're mentally locked in?
Dude, I'm locked in, dude. I don't like to talk to anybody in there. I have my headphones. Sometimes I listen to music in there. Okay. Which I don't know if it's healthy or not, but I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah, it might thrash your head. I don't know. Maybe it would help. Maybe clean it out.
Maybe. I literally have like, again, it's like my anxiety, but I've had visions of like my headphones exploding in my ears and like killing me while I'm in the sauna.
That's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever, it's interesting, the way you're describing that is how I feel about running. Have you ever gotten into running? That has long been my forte. And I think when I'm certainly at my mentally strongest when I'm running. I think it does the same thing. It's like if I go into the run with like, I mean, it's not like I ever go in with intentions, like specific things to think about, but I find they just come up, and I feel a lot more rational after I've ran for whatever reason. I think it might have something to do with like when I'm running, you can feel like you're gonna die or whatever, but it's like as soon as the run's over, like, oh, like I'm fine. So I don't know, maybe it helps with rationality in that way. But have you ever ran?
Yeah, no, what you're saying makes sense. Yeah, definitely. I played soccer my whole life growing up, so that's a lot of running. But they say one of my close buddies, he was a runner for many years. Like he went to college for it and stuff. But he says like basically, when you're like in high stress situations, your body releases like endorphins after, and it just makes you feel happier and just have more clarity. So it could be that.
Yeah, it's like a runner's high.
Yeah, I actually I fucked up my toe jumping off stage at Happy Daps.
Oh, dude, crazy set, by the way. You guys killed that.
Thank you, dude. It was such a fun festival, but literally perfect day. Everything was good, and then at the very end, dude, I was up on stage. I was up there with Bed and Israel from Israel's Arcade. I was like behind them, just watching the high curbs from up there, and fucking Israel jumps off.
I remember seeing this.
Bed jumps off, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna jump off, right?
Yeah.
Like a dumbass. And because
they didn't catch you?
Well, bro, like no, it's not even that. I didn't realize that there was a big gap between the stage and the barrier.
Oh yeah, there was a photo pit.
There was a big so I didn't like, I was like kind of fucked up, and so I'm running and I was about to like jump it and clear it, it wasn't that big, but a security guard like gets in my way and like looks at me and like raises his hands, so it made me stutter. So now I'm like on the ledge of their fucking stage while they're performing. Yeah. And I'm like looking at the security guard. I can't turn around and look like an idiot.
Gotta juke him out.
So I fucking just leaped like as much as I could, and I just caught my body with my big toe on the railing in front of me. So the whole weight of my body was just on my toe. And like whatever, people caught me. I lunged forward, and dude, my toe has been fucked ever since.
Really?
And I haven't gone to the doctor.
Is it all like purple or anything?
It's kind of red still. It's like there's a big like, definitely doesn't look normal. I mean, it doesn't look crazy, but like my toe, my big bone is like kind of big.
I broke my toe when I was like in high school lifting weights. I dropped a dumbbell on my toe, and it was so fucked. But I went to the doctor, and they pretty much were like, there's nothing we can do. Like, it's a broken toe. Like, I don't think they do anything for broken toes.
It just heals, right?
Yeah, it just heals.
How long did it take for you to heal?
Like, I mean, fully probably like 3 months.
Yeah.
It was when it like felt good again. I wonder if it's broken.
I'm 99% sure it broke.
Yeah.
But I've heard that too, that what are you supposed to do? Put a cast on it? Like, there's nothing you could do.
A little toe cast?
Yeah. So I've just been leaving it, and it's been getting better-ish, but I can't play soccer still, and I miss soccer so much.
Do you play soccer a lot?
Yeah, I still play, yeah.
Sick,
we usually
dude.
play like twice a week.
That is so fun, bro.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, I think in the past like year, I've gotten really back into playing basketball.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it very much similar to running. It is my like, it's, I don't know, whenever I'm angry or stressed or whatever, it's like basketball just takes all out of my brain.
Yeah. Dude, there's nothing like that therapy of playing a sport and just feeling good after. Yeah.
That stage diving, bro, that moment, I was standing right of center to the stage, so I was like, if you're looking straight at the stage, I was on the right side, kind of by like the door to get backstage.
Yeah.
I have the craziest mental image of Israel jumping into the crowd because he's just such a big dude.
Big dude,
I was like, when he jumped, I was like, there's no way they're catching him, and they did. They caught him, but I was like, it literally looked like I've never seen anything like it. Like it was just looked like it was crazy. It was like Superman going through the air.
Yeah, that's the one perk I get of being a fucking short person, is not being afraid that the crowd will catch me. Because I'm small enough, they'll catch me.
Are you guys like, do you find as you got more and more fans, as you guys have kind of like gone on, do you feel like the crowds get rowdier, or do they get, are they similar? Do they stay the same, or do you feel like people are more chill?
In my opinion, like, we can clip this, but in my opinion, I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I feel like the fans know that when they're coming to our show, like, it's time to turn up. Yeah. And I think we like that. We want that. We want people to come and just get crazy and have fun. That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah. Well, I think when I first fell in love with you guys' music, because obviously like I was put on You Were Cherry Domingo when we through that show. I wasn't familiar with their stuff before, but so quickly I became a fan. And then seeing you guys live that first time, that was definitely, I think, what made me a fan. It was like,
thank you.
Yeah, of course. It was just seeing the energy in the room and all the other people and stuff. Do you, as a performer, kind of fuel off of the energy of the crowd? Like, is it easier to be yourself and really, really go crazy when the crowd's having a good time?
In the beginning, yeah. Like, early days, it's hard when people aren't necessarily moving because they don't even know your music. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, point and like guess your fucking words. What are they supposed to do? Right? They'll still, we had pits like early days, sometimes just pure based off of energy. But point is, I actually learned this from Brian from Deathlands. He's like one of my brothers. Like, we're super close. I take a lot of advice from him. I'm lucky to have him. And he's pretty much told me that, like, dude, you set the fucking tone. Like, whether or not they're turning up, forget the people for a second. Like, you're there to turn the fuck up, and people will match your energy, you know? It's like, if you're not feeling yourself up there, how are they supposed to feel you?
That's so true, dude. That is such great advice. Wow, I totally think that's true. I feel like the worst thing as a performer you can do, and this is coming from, I mean, I'm like I've played in bands and stuff. I'm not like an experienced performer, but I've also like, I think I'm an experienced crowd member. I've been to a ridiculous amount of shows.
Fuck yeah.
And I think the worst thing you can do, like, as a performer, is to like get upset at a crowd when they're not moving or don't have the energy, because then I think they'll turn on you so quick. I think like the crowd's energy is so fickle, bro. Like, they'll just turn on you like that, I think. So I think it's so important to like you said, like, you kind of got to give it to get it back, you know?
For sure. Yeah, and just be prepared. Like, a lot of it comes with, you know, people, like, some bands think it's cool to like not give a fuck, and to an extent, it is cool to not give a fuck. But at the same time, like, people are buying tickets to come to your show, right? So you should like prepare. You should practice. You should make sure you guys sound good. You should make sure your shit's plugged in right. You should make sure you're in tune. You should make sure like it feels and sounds good. And I think like the confidence of knowing that you put in all that work will show when you're on stage, and people will feel that too, you know?
Yeah, dude, 100%. I think we were talking earlier about how stark of a contrast there is between like a follower or like a fan versus like a listener, you know? And I think that right there, like that level of preparation and that level of dedication, and even just like that level of like respect for the audience, I think that's how you make like fans, bro. There's like, I think some of the smartest and most successful acts I've ever seen have been the acts that sit in that venue and wait till every last person is gone, and they shake hands with all of them, meet all of them, take the pictures, whatever. Just be a kind human being. I think that changes everything, you know?
100%, dude. Yeah, and I was just talking about that with Brian too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands, you know, they lack that for sure, and some don't. But yeah, just go out there and talk to everybody. Be fucking homies with everybody, because that's the whole point, you know?
Yeah.
We've all had, I remember, you know, I've had like, my heroes are Joyce Manor. Like, that's, you know, I'm a fucking Joyce Manor stan. Everybody knows it. You know, I always have been. And I remember their early days, like I've seen them in garages at like that's little crazy. Tiny shows. And Barry's always been cool as fuck. He's always been like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Like, just super friendly guy. Like, never just snuck out the back and tried to be too cool. Same with Matt, their bassist. Like, and those moments meant so much to me when I was younger. So I hope, like, if, you know, people do love our music, like, I hope I can give those moments to people too.
Yeah, and I think you just never forget that too. Like, as an audience member, I know I don't. Like, I think, like, any of the acts that I've met that have just been like incredibly cool, I never forget it. And I mean, even on like a smaller scale, I think, and it's interesting. As you guys have gotten like bigger, even in the past, 'cause you've only been a band since like 2020, 21, right?
Something like that, yeah, just about. I think the first single dropped 21, and then we started playing shows in 22.
Okay, gotcha. Have there been moments like in the past like 3 years or so when you realize like, wow, like our reach is bigger than we thought it was, you know? Like, have you had moments where you kind of like acknowledge like, whoa, like there is a level of like influence and responsibility that we now have?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of ups and downs, you know, being a musician. Like, some you ride the highs and then you ride the lows and stuff. But yeah, definitely we never thought like we would have even 50 people at our fucking shows. So to have, you know, a few hundred people showing up is crazy to us, and people listening to the music and like
singing along and everything.
Jumping
around.
Yeah, that's gotta be such a crazy feeling,
dude. It's really cool. We're super grateful, and yeah, we realize that we have a certain amount of influence, and I appreciate it and I love it, because I want to the only influence I want to give people is to fucking love music. That's it. Like, when the young kids, like some of his friends, like nephews and, you know,
that's so
like
cool.
Little kids have come to our shows, like I see
some of my students from my gym.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
You know, like,
I feel like a mission that him and I share in common is, like, I feel like music can keep kids off the streets, you know?
Yeah.
Especially out here in LA.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
When you're young, you have a choice. Like, you can either hang out with like gangbangers and, you know, do gang shit, or you can pick up an instrument or a sport, right? So like, if we can encourage more kids to do music instead of like getting into trouble, that would be sick.
That's such a cool way to look at it. Wow. Because it is true. It's like, dude, you can't tell me that every single successful band or artist or whatever, they didn't have a moment where they had one artist where like, that's what I want to be like.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I think about that in terms of, like, obviously, I think teachers is the obvious profession for that. But another thing, I mean, I think doctors are the obvious profession of that. But I think another one I think about a lot is teachers. Because I feel like a good teacher is a very similar level of influence where, like, dude, you have the ability to change a kid, like the whole trajectory of a kid's life.
That's true.
With 1 year of school, you know?
Yeah.
That's always been so interesting to me. But I think it's so true with the musician stuff, too. It's like, it's so much more than the music.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much more about, like, what are you putting out into the world? Like, what are you saying, you know?
Yeah. It can really change people's lives and affect the course of what they end up doing, you know? And I think music can help a lot of people stay out of trouble. It can help people get into trouble too, right? There's a lot of crazy shit, crazy musicians, but I think for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to be that either, you know? We can still do music, rock star shit, whatever, but still keep ourselves, like, together.
Yeah.
Like that without, you know, fucking partying all crazy and shit. I mean, we like to have fun, but we like to take care of ourselves too, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that stigma is kind of like going out the window? Like the idea that like whatever, for lack of a better term, rock stars have to like be that kind of like, I don't know, out there, abrasive, like just like, I don't want to say aggressive, but just maybe like making terrible decisions. Like maybe that's not cool anymore.
I mean, they can, but not us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we try to put out too sometimes.
It is interesting. Like, I have heard people say rock stars aren't rock stars anymore.
Do they
like,
have to be?
It's fucking interesting though. This is a very interesting topic because you look at like.
I'm gonna move this a bit closer to you.
Okay.
You look at like, I don't know, like the Sex Pistols and like early punk music and shit.
Sorry, you're good. Go ahead.
Dude, by the way, I'm very big on mics picking up audio on podcasts too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see podcasts, bro, like big ones, and I'm like, fucking
move the mic.
Move the mic. You're killing me. Yeah. And then you could also compress sound too, so it like levels out the audio in post.
Yeah.
And some people don't do that.
We've done 126 of these, and I can't tell you how many times I've watched one back and been like, why didn't I just fucking move that mic? Like, why didn't I just inch it? Like, because in the moment, I'm like, oh, well, like, will they get upset if I move the mic?
It's
and it's
awkward,
like,
kinda.
it's awkward a little bit, but it's like, I don't know. I'm over it now because
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's always worth it.
Fucking move the mic. I totally get that. Yeah.
What were you saying, though?
I was saying, like, there's something obviously, like, I don't know if I want to say cool. Like, I don't want to, obviously, like, some of the shit that people were doing in the 70s and 80s now, like, I mean, it's not fucking cool,
like heinous,
right?
Yeah.
Some crazy shit. But, like, there definitely was a rock star aspect. Like, it was crazy, dude. The sex, the drugs, the rock and roll. And to an extent, like, I think all of us, you know, there's movies about it because it looks cool, right? Obviously, when you're looking at it from the outside. But, yeah, I think these days, you know, I think people are just more conscious of other people and like the effects of their decisions and shit. So people are just like a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's so, I feel like it's so incredibly unsustainable too. Like none of them, like none of the ones that like we even look at in that regard, none of them live that life for more than like 5 years because they either died or realized like, holy shit, what am I doing to myself?
Facts.
Like there's just not, it's not a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. There's two sides of it. I think there's like there is the undefinable cool factor is like the word I use a lot. Like I think there is certainly an undefinable cool factor that I don't think necessarily is like binded to genre. I think that it exists in, you know, across all genres of music. But I think there is that, and then there is what you're describing, like the more like raucous tour life, drug, sex, rock and roll lifestyle. And I think there are ways to like harness that undefinable cool factor without dipping into that other territory.
Yeah.
Like it can be like being larger than life on stage. I think people buy into that just as much as they do the drug, sex, and the partying, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it always has to be about that. I think there's other ways to like kind of capture that aura, you know?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the music's at the core of that. That's the best way to capture it, you know? Like how does your music make you feel make people feel? Like, does it make them want to like go out and fuck shit up? Does it make them want to go crazy? Does it make them want to go wild? Yeah, that's kind of the punkish shit you can do, you know? I totally agree. That's funny you bring up fuck shit up, because that song, I think when I saw it live for the first time, it captures such an interesting energy, because it's not like
let's get fucked up song. It's
Yeah.
more of like a fuck the world song.
Yeah.
You know, which is those are two very, very different things. The lyricism in that one feels very much like of the ilk of like some really, really early like Britpunk and things like that.
Yeah.
And like even like some, you know, some more modern hardcore stuff. When you were writing that song, where were you kind of pulling from out of the frustration? Was it just everything, or was there a certain experience that sparked that whole kind of monologue?
Dude, it was just a culmination of everything, dude. Like I told you, I left music in my early 20s to get into business, and I, started like a real estate business and did that for several years. And I also grew up like very poor. I think we all did. Like most of the boys in our band, we all like grew up in the hood. Food stamps, the whole thing. We all struggled. So to me, that song is like the duality of I've seen like both worlds and a lot of the hypocrisy in like the business world, and especially in LA, where everybody just wants to be like better than the next person.
Yeah.
And like nobody wants to like be helpful and help other people and give a hand. They only want to do it for social media. They don't really want to help somebody. Yeah. Like nobody's giving a homeless guy a meal unless it's on camera these days. And that's really what the song's about. And then also just hypocrisy in general. That's what it's about, and that's what I was pulling from.
I know this question is a little more personal. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But as somebody who grew up in that kind of environment, did that make going? I think about this a lot, like the way in which people who come from different financial standards like get into the music industry. Did coming from that kind of environment make it a lot scarier going into music, which sometimes is not the most lucrative career path financially?
That's why I left it.
Interesting.
If I grew up with just a little bit more money,
wow,
I would have been in a fucking like I think my life would be very different. I think I would have, I have dreams and thoughts of like maybe I would have been a lot more successful in music by the time I was like 25, 24, 25, because I would have actually stuck through it. Yeah. But I was in bands like all through high school, obviously when I'm still living at home, but I left home when I was 18. I had to. And I was like fending for myself at that point. So, dude, you can't.
It's hard.
How the fuck are you going to make music? Like, I needed to make money. So yeah, that definitely affected me. And I think what happened was I started my business. I had some success, found like no fulfillment in the pretty good money I made, and then I came back to music because all I was doing that whole time while I was wearing my fucking suit and driving around like these super expensive neighborhoods was bumping my fucking little demos in my car and like dreaming of playing music.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I met him, like I think because I met him is why this band started, because I never had anybody else to like push me towards it, and he's always believed in me, since like the very beginning. And he also had he has a lot of experience in music. Like he's fucking done it his whole life too. So yeah, that's kind of how it all came together.
It's so interesting. I think sometimes all it takes is one person. Yeah. Like I think it's interesting I think that the difference between maybe two people that believe in you and three people isn't that big, but the difference between 0 and 1 is gigantic.
It's facts.
Like it's huge. That's everything.
Damn, that's a good quote, dude.
Yeah, that's like I think about that all the time, dude. Like my mom believes in me like incredibly.
That's awesome.
And I think like that is like, that keeps me going a lot, because I think like the worst thing that in my mind that I could possibly do sometimes is let her down, you know? Yeah. Because she believes in me so much.
Yeah, dude. I mean, not to like, dude, it's hard. It would be hard not to believe in you, bro. You're a very like well-spoken, fucking hardworking guy.
Thank you,
I feel like people would be crazy not to believe in you.
Thank you, bro. Genuinely. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel the same way about you.
Thank you.
When you like, so you started in music, you left for a bit, and then you came back. How long was that middle period?
Like 6 years.
Okay, so it was a good amount of time.
Yeah, it was a big chunk.
When you left originally, was it like a cold I'm out, or was it kind of just like a slow taper? And when you did so, how soon after did you start kind of like missing it?
Dude, it was like, honestly, it was a pretty cold turkey cut, because I was living, honestly what happened was I had nowhere to live, so I was living at my ex-girlfriend's house.
Gotcha.
And I remember like still trying to make music during the day when I didn't have work. And I remember her dad coming home one day and like slamming a door or some shit. And then I overheard him yelling at her like, "This motherfucker needs to be working. What is he doing, like playing with his little guitar?" Like, you know, he needs to make money, you know, otherwise he needs to get the fuck out. So like that gave me a lot of anxiety. And obviously, like I think I literally put my guitar down for like I think a year and a half, almost 2 years, which is the longest I had never touched a guitar since I started playing. And then, and then years later, my best friend Eric Torres, he introduced me to him, and then that's when we like started it up. But it took several years.
Gotcha.
To get back into it, yeah.
Damn, that's such a visceral image in my head. Yeah. Wow, that's so like. Yeah, that's so interesting, dude. I think
it was a harsh moment for sure.
Yeah, I think about very often like the amount of regret that I think would sit in my chest if I didn't pursue something like what I'm pursuing, and I always try to chalk it up to like, because I mean, I'm pretty broke. Like I'm paycheck to paycheck. I make ends meet, and that's about it. And you know, a little bit of money put in my business, but it's like I often think about like, would I be happier if I, you know, had a job where I was making like a good amount of money, if I went to school, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But it always chalks up to like, I don't think I could bear it. Like, I don't think I could bear it.
As your living example.
Yeah.
Use me, because I did it. I left and I made a fucking good amount of money, bro. Like, I was making more than some attorneys were making. Yeah. Selling real estate. And I found success, right? Success. But what is success? You think success is money, but it's actually happiness, right? And the root of unhappiness comes from too many desires. Yeah. And when you're just chasing money, you just want things. You want a watch, you want a car, you want all these desires, and it just makes you less happy and less happy. So you can be old later. When you could, I know people that have started careers in many industries when they're 35, 40, and, you know, make $1 million by the time they're 50. Yeah. You can do that later. This is the time to do what you love, because you have this like special energy right now at your age. Like, you know, in your 20s, you have this like special energy that I don't think you have later in life. So it's better to dedicate that shit to something you actually love. Damn,
that's real. Thank you, bro. Yeah, that's real. It is like it is so strange. It's so funny that you never know what it feels like to be older than how old you are, if that makes sense. That was hella like podcast brain, but like but you literally like there's no way that I could know. It's so interesting. It's kind of the human condition, because like part of me, you're right, like I could sit here and be like, damn, like, you know, like I would never do that, but then there's still part of me that's like, damn, I wonder what it would feel like if I went and did that, you know. But I don't think I ever would.
You shouldn't, dude. Yeah. And you're right in saying like, just by meeting you and just by talking to you for like 15 minutes, I could tell you, and I'm sure you know this, like if you really wanted to, you could go work for some great company and probably have a 6-figure salary in a couple years of like working at the right place. But ultimately, dude, it's just better to do what you love to do while you can. Yeah. Because later you'll have kids. Later you'll you be married. Like you're gonna have a mortgage. You're gonna have all this shit, and there just isn't as much like opportunity to do what you love. So this is the time for sure.
When you were out of it, what was the thing that brought you back? Like, was it you said it was meeting Kevin, pretty much, that like sparked the whole thing? And what did you miss the most? Was it the writing? Was it the playing? Was it the playing shows? What was it?
It was just writing. I love writing music. I like playing shows is great. It's probably my second favorite. Releasing music, you know, the music videos and all the fun, you know, the touring, that's like all 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. The first thing I love is writing music. Yeah. I've always written music since I was a kid, and that's what I miss the most. And I think what he brought to the table was like believing in me and not making me feel like shit about what I was writing or what we would write together. Because I had some friends in high school that, you know, I caught talking shit about my music one time, and it really affected me, dude. Yeah. It actually affected me. Like, it made me like,
I had a similar situation.
I'm not fucking good.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I think that, and then also he had everything set up. He had this fucking tattoo shop storage room that had a drum set in it. It had a fucking TV where he would stream like all the MMA fights while we would be fucking jamming and playing music. And he had the drummer, and he had like the musician homies, and he had the whole fucking thing. And all I had to do was show up and write music with him, and it just all like blossomed from there. And he's the one who fucking like introduced us to a lot of the people that we know today, like because he's been so tapped into the scene. And I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit more.
Were you like in other bands before and stuff? How did you kind of come up in it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always played bands, and I always like I love music, so I'm always looking for like new music to listen to, so I'll come across a bunch of bands and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it right there. And then like I heard Vinny's song, and like I thought it was really good, and like I knew that if we linked up, like we could make something happen. Like I already knew it, like when I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Was it a song for like another band or like a solo project?
It was one of his own songs that he had, and I heard it, and then when I found out that we had a mutual friend, I was like, bro, like I already knew it, so yeah.
That's so sick. How did you like originally find everything in music? Like, were your parents into it, or like how'd you kind of stumble into it?
Yeah, like my dad, he's like, you know, he's cool, so he listened. Like I grew up listening to like K-Rock and shit.
Gotcha.
So like, just that from right there, when like I would skate to like a CD store or something like this. They used to have like these things where you could like look up music and put your headphones. Remember, like I would skate there and just keep looking for bands, just listening and shit. Yeah.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so sick. Wow. Yeah, I feel like there's some people who like are a perfect musical pairing. It feels like you guys found each other at the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. That's beautiful, man.
Definitely very grateful, and yeah, dude. Yeah, life is crazy.
Yeah, because he said he likes writing. I love writing too. Mm-hmm. But I love playing shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like being on stage. Like, I love putting on a show, jumping around, just getting lit. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just it just works out, you know?
Yeah. It's like one square that's missing like one side, and the other one just fits in the side.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah.
And then we've always had our drummer Kevin like since the very beginning too, and he's the third piece. He brings the fucking energy, like the jokes, and he also has a good ear. Like we kind of make fun of him sometimes because he'll be like, dude, I thought of a song, and he'll send us a voice memo of him going, it'll be like nah 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 nah, like he'll just like mouth some shit, but
everyone shits on the drummers, bro.
It works, dude. He knows. He just knows. Like he loves music too. So yeah, it's been great. And then we added Carlos to the band. I think a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Do you guys share taste, like in terms of like what you listen to and stuff? Is that something you relate on, or do you think you all bring like separate influences to the pot?
He's very, I think like I would call him like a fucking pop punk expert.
Gotcha.
Because he knows the OG bands, he knows like the 2000s, the mid 2000s, and all the shit I love.
What's your top five? If you had to go top five.
My top five bands.
Pop punk bands.
Well, I like the Charter for sure. Let's see, like Joyce Mayer is good. I don't know. I even listen to bands like Taking Back Sunday, who influenced me a lot in music.
That's
like,
sick, dude.
Bands like that. Like a lot of the newer bands too. The Story So Far.
They're from 10 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're from Walnut Creek, California. Shout out.
Yeah. Like that. Even like
shout out.
Like Set Your Goals. Like pop punk, like more of a hardcore on the hardcore scene.
Sick. Hell yeah.
Like that. But yeah, pretty much like I think that's probably.
Yeah. Are you into that stuff too, or like where does your taste kind of tread in that world?
So I definitely like I think the 2010 to 2015 range was where I took like most of my influence. Because I was talking about this the other day. Like I literally grew up in the fucking hood, bro. So I was wearing Dickies and fucking Pro Clubs and listening to rap. That's how I grew up. And then my mom got married to this.
That's crazy that it switched like that's
rock
bro,
music. I had a buzz cut. Like that's all I knew, which I don't hate on. I love where I came from, and I still love Tupac, and I still love Biggie, and I still love Nas, and I still love like all the OG like people I used to listen to. But then my mom married this guy named Sergio, who's my stepdad for a short like a period of time, and he was cool. He listened to like Metallica and Zeppelin, and that was the first time I ever fucking heard rock music, dude, was from him, because I was in a bubble.
And how old were you?
I was probably like 12 or 13.
Gotcha. Okay.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, dude, I gotta learn how to play all this. So I started learning how to play like and cover all those bands, and then I found like Tiger Jaw, Joyce Manor, Title Fight. And then I got into the hardcore scene, so I would go to the Cobalt Cafe and go to hardcore shows or like Sound and Fury and shit. So yeah, that's more of where like my today music taste comes from, just like from that era.
Yeah.
Because I missed all the Good Charlottes. I missed all the fucking, even like Blink. Like I kind of knew of Blink, but I missed a lot of that. I missed Weezer early. I got into Weezer super late.
Yeah.
You know, because I just didn't know who they were.
It's so interesting to hear you describe it like a bubble. Because like I always think of a bubble as the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting. Like when I think bubble, I think like white suburbia, never goes out of it, and just has these strange misconceptions about the world. But I suppose a bubble can go either way.
Yeah, that's true.
There's all kinds of different bubbles. I suppose I never think about that.
Yeah. There's all kinds of different bubbles. Yeah, they're all separated and alienated from each other when you're in a bubble. But yeah, dude, I'm glad Joyce Manor's really, I would say I would give it to them. Like they inspired me to really want to do something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally feel it. Okay, so you guys are going to like a very, very exciting week. You have tomorrow at the festival, and then the tour in like a month, right?
Yeah, July.
When you come up on periods of time like this where there's like a ton of stuff happening, is the feeling more stressed? Is it more excited? Is it more like anxious? Or like where do you kind of like tread on that, like in terms of the anticipation?
I think we're just stoked.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. We're ready for it all. I think obviously the tough part is financially and monetarily, because it's expensive to do this.
Yeah.
Like you have to literally figure out how to leave work for a bit, how to budget money for your bills while you're gone, and then how to, you got to print merch. You got to like make sure all your equipment's good. So there's some stress associated with that, like a tour van. You got to get a tour van or figure out your transportation and your hotel stays and shit. So half of it is stress. The other half is like obviously really fucking excited. We're super lucky to be on that tour with that shit. I'm going to say this as a promo. Where's my camera? Is that my camera?
Yeah, any of them, yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk to this one.
So talk to it.
If you're, first of all, you better pull up to some of the shows on our tour. You have to pull up.
What's the LA date? It's the last one on the tour, right?
Yeah, it's the last. I think it's August 2nd, August 3rd. Okay. I should know that, but
one of those.
Find it on our page. But if you're coming to the show, which you are, like, drink a lot of water, like, do your cardio, just be fucking ready, because Chico's opening up. They're absolutely nuts. Probably gonna get chest kicked, and then it's us. I think we turn it up, and then you have Strawberry Fuzz. Those motherfuckers are crazy too, and then obviously Deathlands. They're absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be like rager after rager after rager. Yeah. It's gonna be fucking fun.
Damn.
Genuinely.
Yeah. I know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So cool. You guys are playing Gilman. I'm so excited for you for that.
Never been, dude. So excited.
They just almost doubled the cap because they added a side door, which might be the most Gilman core thing of all time.
That's crazy.
It was like it's been like a 250 cap venue and what would you say, more like a 400 cap space? Yeah, it's like a big room, but they just couldn't do like full capacity shows because they only had one exit.
Damn, that's crazy.
So all they had to do was add this side door. But yeah, that
wow. And it raised the capacity to what?
400.
400 for adding a door. Like damn,
yeah, which is nuts. I didn't know that was a thing until then.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's a really, really cool spot. Have you guys have been on the road before, right?
Yeah, we went to Texas last year with Bed. Shout out to Bed. They're some of our best friends in the music scene, and even outside of the music scene, we love Bed and all the boys. But yeah, we went to Texas. We went up. I don't even know, dude. I'm so fucking bad geographically. But where did we go? Into like Phoenix or fucking, I don't know, dude. New Mexico.
Some in there.
In Germany. I don't know where the fuck we went. Yeah.
What are your like loves and disloves about the road? Like, what do you think the hardest part of the road is? If you had to give a word of advice to somebody who hasn't been on tour before.
Dude, this is shocking. I guess no. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about the road, which is crazy, because you would think like there's parts that are terrible, but something about being imprisoned in the van like for fucking 10 hours with your homies, like there's something that's great about it, because you can't work if you wanted to. You can't be fucked with about some bullshit, because you're on the road with no service in a van. Yeah, you're like in jail, but in a fucking great jail. Yeah, of like it's just carefree. So it's great. There's nothing bad about it, I don't think.
It's like the what are you saying, the thing at the gym, the humidifier.
Oh yeah, like the fucking sauna.
Yeah, like the sauna.
Except they're not fucking naked in the van like the fucking old guys in the sauna.
Not all the bands, sometimes you got to do it with the homies.
That's true, sometimes.
When you guys are playing, because you guys play live like a lot, when you're playing live as much as you are, do you ever feel like you have to kind of take breaks in between shows to keep like the demand up and stuff? And as you guys have gotten more show offers and stuff, I imagine, have you gotten more picky?
Dude, we've literally turned down, I think in this year alone, we've probably turned down 30 shows. Damn. Probably more, honestly, like almost every day, because we kind of had to this year because we had a radius clause for the tour. Gotcha. But I think we have taken more of a break this year, right? What did we do this year? We did I don't even remember, dude. I have such a bad memory, but I don't think we definitely haven't been as active.
Yeah.
Because we want to do like a big headliner at the Echo or something like that, like later this year. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's so interesting because you would think from the outside that like, you know, most bands would just take whatever they can get because, you know, any show's a good show, but that's like not really how it works. Because if you just play in LA every single weekend, people are just gonna stop coming at a certain point.
This is the way I put it.
Maybe in the beginning it's chill.
Yeah.
In the beginning, for sure.
You know, so you can get your chops up, whatever. Get used to the crowd and work on your music. But,
Facts.
Once you reach, you don't know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, no, that's a good fucking point. That's good for all you starting bands. Yeah. This is sensei. That's why we call him sensei. Like, get your fucking chops up and play as many shows as you can because it's gonna build experience. But then ultimately, like, once you have a fan base, you have to think like my favorite band in the world, right? Let's just say they played LA 10 times in a one fucking year. I would just go once or twice.
Yeah.
So, bro, if you're not even like that massive, you should, you should just build your, build it up. Just take a break for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play every once in a while.
It is interesting to think about too because it's like, it's almost like I don't know where that first stage stops and that second stage ends. Like when you go from like we should take everything to like we should take like 1 in every 4, 1 in every 3, you know?
Yeah. I think once it happens naturally, like,
yeah.
And there's ups and downs, we're definitely nowhere near where we want to fucking be, but this year we had radius clauses, right?
That's cool.
So that it happens naturally. Like you're going to have shows like even Happy Daps had a radius clause around it.
Oh, wow.
And so does our tour. So like we, it'll happen naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think like as you've gotten older too, like do you think like the band you were in the past, was it easier to just like every single day run it? Like have you gotten to a place now where it's like you've been playing music long enough to where like that level of commitment to like the show every single day or every single night is harder? Like what do you kind of do to get yourself psyched up for a show?
I don't think, I guess on tour we had a lot of back-to-back shows, and after like the 5th one, then you are like tired and shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why sometimes I don't know, just drink.
Yeah.
Just like get fucked up. You'll have fun, if you're not feeling it one night. That's what I do, honestly.
Yeah. That's the remedy to all.
Just have a beer.
How were you guys were both in bands before Grave Secrets, right? How were the bands you were in prior in terms of like, did you gain a lot of experience from them? Like, what do you think the biggest lessons are that you learned coming into Grave Secrets? Because I feel like that's a very underrated thing. Like, all the members of a band going into a band setting when they've already been there before. I think that's kind of like huge. Like, what do you think are the biggest lessons that you learned from the past kind of experiences?
Just how to work with other people.
Mm.
Yeah. Get to understand other people a lot more.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Versus when you're younger and stuff like that. There was a lot of fighting with my other bands,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like bumping heads and stuff. When you get older, you learn how to work together and stuff.
Yeah.
It's facts.
And everything else too.
Mm.
Playing shows, getting better at your instrument, stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very, very like very fine line to walk, like being in a band, because it's so much of like how much do I want to do, how much do I not want to do, like am I doing too much or am I not doing enough? It's like there's such a sweet spot in the band dynamic, that's why I think it's such a hard thing to do for so long.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. You have to love the music first and foremost. That's what I always tell people. Like, people, I tell people to just focus on the music. That's the most important part. Focus on the music, and everything else will come.
Yeah. I feel like remembering that, too. Like, in the hard moments is really important.
Yeah, people get too, like, caught up with, because a lot of the reason why people get inspired to start a band is because they have an image. They saw, like, their favorite performer, and that image is usually like a big crowd, a big stage, they look cool, they have cool tattoos, and they're dressed a certain way. And so a lot of people get too like focused on the image, and they forget the whole fucking points of music.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they look cool up there is because their music's fucking good.
Yeah.
So like forget about the image, forget about trying to be cool and playing the coolest fucking venues, the coolest shows. Just worry about the music, and everything else will follow.
Yeah, totally. I mean that is like, and that's the thing too with like, especially I think I feel that a lot with promotion. I think a lot of bands get so wrapped up in the like, what time am I posting my TikToks, or like like what time am I posting on Instagram, when like if you haven't put like the time into the music before that and like even after that none of that stuff really matters at all.
Yeah, it's facts.
It's like first and foremost has to be the music thing.
That's the first most important thing.
How long? So if you guys were both in bands before, how long have you like technically been doing it?
I mean, my first band, I was probably like fucking 16.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Damn.
Can you bleep stuff out?
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna bleep this out.
Okay, Mario, right on the timestamp.
My first hardcore band, we played one show at the Cobalt. It was called.
Okay, nice.
Bleep that out for sure.
Crazy name.
It's
The
nothing.
Cobalt is an old venue back in the day.
The Cobalt. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to clarify for the viewers. It wasn't nothing fucking bad.
He just said the name of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing gnarly. It's just fucking stupid.
It's just silly, yeah.
So yeah, that was like our first band at the Cobalt, and then I was in another band called Warren Mosley for a bit. But it's always been more like solo stuff for me.
Yeah.
And we actually won Battle of the Bands in high school.
Nice.
So I got to play for Nick Cannon.
Yo.
Studios and like a couple other people.
That's
There's
crazy.
a video of that online, but don't ever look for it.
What was Nick Cannon's rise? It was that show, right?
Yeah. At the time.
What was
I
it?
don't remember, dude.
Damn.
But he had some.
Well, now?
show.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So we played for him, and then that was it. And then I think that was pretty much it for me. But he was more active. He
Mhm.
was actually playing shows with New Leaf and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
I had other bands, but,
What kind of music was like New Leaf?
same.
Same type of stuff?
Try to go for that same sound. Shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. More like pop punk, hardcore.
Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Doing it so long, like how rewarding was it like when this project started to see some traction? Then even like signing, like doing things like that. Are those things that you dreamt of when you were like, in those other projects or doing solo music and stuff, and how rewarding was it?
No, definitely never even imagined it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this time around when I came back for music, it was like I was just doing it just for the sake of fucking doing it.
Loving
and
it.
Not like looking back again and regretting not doing it. So just to have people support and ask us to sign shit or buy our merch, like, dude, we sold out our last run so quick. That was crazy.
Damn.
Just that is insane. And we're super grateful. It
Yeah.
wasn't expected.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know how you can possibly expect that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, the concept of having like somebody outside of yourself even care about your music to begin with is such a wild concept, dude.
Yeah,
I think about that like at a show the other day. Someone came up to me and told me they watched the podcast, and that had not happened in like a long time. And that blew my mind. And this is a person who was like, in the music scene and like, had just like, we listened to a lot of the same shit. And that was probably why. But it was just like, wow, like having that idea that like somebody outside of yourself or your family or your friends like give a shit about you or what you're creating is so crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's so like, the internet is so strange, man. And I'm sure it's different for a band, I guess, because you guys are playing live and you're seeing people, et cetera, and that's like a lot more of it. But like what I'm doing, so much of it is just the internet. Like so much of it is just like throwing shit into the abyss. So whenever I have a moment like in real life where someone like acknowledges me or like like whatever, that just, it blows my mind, because I think for so long it's so easy to feel like you're just throwing shit out there, throwing shit into the abyss,
Yeah, which is what kind of like in your field you kind of have to do, like you said. You have to just keep going and stay consistent until you have your moment, because you're gonna have a moment one day. You're gonna do something. You're gonna do one interview, or you're gonna have one fucking video that like absolutely blows up, and people are gonna be like, oh, look at Dante and look at Mario, like they did it overnight, like just because they went viral.
Yeah.
You don't see all these hours and all these times and all the unwatched videos you put out and all the shit that you did. It doesn't happen overnight, so
Yeah.
you just gotta keep doing it. And I think a lot of people definitely fuck with you guys. I'm sure you get a
Thank
lot
you,
of people
man.
coming up to you guys.
I appreciate it. It's always such a like weird concept when someone like, and I think about this a lot because because the fact that I'm so into this shit, I watch the rise of some musicians, and like I just go back and look at it so much, but like I really don't think there's ever been like a true like overnight success. Like it really doesn't exist. One of the funniest examples I always point, this is like such a silly example, but I always point to Jack Harlow, because he's like a guy who like he had that one song, What's Poppin', went crazy, became like a celebrity overnight. But that dude has literally been rapping since he was like 15 years old. And like there's music out on the YouTube of him rapping when he was like 15 years old.
Yeah, people don't see that.
Yeah.
They don't see all the work that was put in before. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've had oh, sorry, go ahead, what were you saying?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we edit in a pee break?
Sure, yeah.
Because I have to pee.
Yeah, go pee, you're good.
Sorry, dude.
Dude, don't be sorry, you're
I drank a bunch
good.
of water before I came here.
You're all good, no worries.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I had a good question before. Oh yeah, what do you we were talking about like that overnight success mentality.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that so far, like if you had to pick a turning point for when things have kind of started moving in the right direction for Grave Secrets, when would you say it was? Was it a certain show, a certain release? Like, what was it?
Dude, we got to give all praise to the Mighty Deathlands, because they fucking, dude, think about it. Like, they, spent almost 10 years, like, building a following in LA, and then they just randomly decided that out of the goodness of their hearts, they would open up the opening act to one random band in LA. And they did this contest where, like, whoa, I think like 200-300 bands submitted their music to Deathlands while they were like on tour or something, and they were just in the van, I guess, like just shuffling through all the fucking submissions, and we submitted, and I'll give credit where credit's due, like we submitted because of him. He's the one who like kind of put us on game with that, with Deathlands and with the contest and stuff. So we submitted, I think it was love songs that we sent them, and they hit us up. I was at a work event and I saw the email, and I like freaked out. I was like, no fucking way. Like, we're going to play to more than fucking 3 people. This is going to be crazy.
That is such a cool idea for a contest.
And that was it. That was literally, it was in December of 2022, I think. Mm-hmm. Something like that. And then after that, everything just changed for us, and we started playing cooler shows, and it's almost like we got let into the club, because, LA could be kind of cliquey. Yeah. And we started playing cooler shows, and yeah, really fucking cool.
And now you guys are touring with them.
Now we're touring with them, yeah. Yeah, there's some other shit in the works too, hopefully for next year, so we'll see.
That is such a crazy and cool thing to do as like a band that's that big. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
They did.
So sick.
Dude, they're always doing shit like that. They're always helping people. They're always giving back. That's definitely what we hope to do when we have the power to do so, and we love to. Like Willow Wake, but is it so much. Yeah, dude, Junior, would come to all of our shows. I listened to his music. I fucking loved it, and like
I think I know this story.
Yeah, like I actually wanted them to open up our show at the Smell, our headliner, but they had already played the Smell like twice. Yeah. And our manager was like, no, like just too much. They've already played it 2 times. We got to get somebody new. So we got Aren't We Amphibians, which was cool.
They rip too.
They rip. But even them, like Willow Wake, I did everything I could to help like push their music, and not that they needed it, but I just wanted to support, and actually ended up connecting them with Rob from Wiretap, and we were able to connect them with Rob, and now they're releasing their first, they got their first record deal with Rob.
Cool, so bro, that's so cool. I'm so happy you did that. That's like, God, that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
it's so funny you bring that up, because I feel the exact same way about those dudes. Like, yeah. Since the moment I met them, like, yeah. I've literally, I made a joke with Junior about it the other day, because I was like, I feel like I just hit you guys up for everything. And I was like, because they're just, I don't know, I just love them. They're just like humble and like to themselves in like the right way, and it's just, I don't know, it's really easy, I think, especially the young band, to tell who gives a fuck and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Or do they give a fuck about the wrong things? And those dudes love music.
100%. I can tell right away. Yeah. Junior, don't fucking change. I don't know the other guys in the band too much. Yeah, I've met them a couple times. They seem super sweet, actually, from my shorter interactions. But yeah, don't change. Don't let it get to your head, because you're super talented, and he's a good looking kid.
He is.
Like, he's got the whole package. So I think if they keep doing what they're doing, they're gonna be fucking huge. Yeah. And he's got a great voice. Yeah. Shout out Willow Wake.
Had you played with them before the show that we threw with you guys?
No, that was the first time. I'd been wanting to, like, I've been trying. He knows, like, we've been, we DM'd so many times trying to, just didn't line up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, dude, so I agree with you. There's really, really, like, there's an it factor with some bands that isn't exactly definable.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if it's even necessarily like it's a music thing, but it's also like a performance thing, and it's like a how you carry yourself thing, and Willow Wake just has this like essence to them where it's like they just feel like they honestly, like, I feel like they would do something like that Deathlands contest, like when they get really big,
100%.
There's things like that, like just people who give a shit about the music, and I think it's really cool you did that, because that's always like, that's really inspiring to me, because I'm like, that's like name of the game for us. Like, dude, I just want to build as big and strong of a community as possible. People who love each other and want to help each other and just want to like make cool shit together.
Yeah, I completely agree, dude. We can do it. Yeah. Like we want the same thing. We can all do it. Everybody just has to, remember that nobody's too cool for anybody else, and help where you can, and like eliminate jealousy from your body.
Yeah.
Eliminate.
It's hard.
It is hard. We all have jealous feelings, but eliminate that shit and, you know, help people out and it comes back around.
I think, dude, that's the thing. I think that is the key part. It's like always believing that it comes back around. Because it does. It does. Genuinely always does.
Yeah.
It's, this is an interesting question because it's an easy question for somebody who's not from LA, but you being from LA, obviously you weren't always in the music industry.
Yeah.
You know, do you think the LA stereotype preconception of like fakeness or like, you know, whatever, plasticness or like using people, that mentality, do you think there's validity to it, or do you think it's kind of like overblown?
I don't think so much. I don't think it's as prevalent in our scene, in like our, you know, the indie alternative, you know, pop punk world. In other industries and like the more mainstream industry, because I have friends in the mainstream industry, like at Universal Music Group, and like, hell yeah, it's superficial as fuck, and you have to have a lawyer and you have to be super careful and, you know, stuff like that. But I think in our scene, for the most part, everybody's just like loves music and wants to kind of try to help each other as much as we can. But I do see it still sometimes, like, nobody's too cool for anybody. Trust me. I promise you, nobody's cooler than anyone. So everybody just gotta, just be nice to each other.
Yeah, it's so strange, I think, too. I think there's I think when I first started doing this, I mean, 'cause I've been doing this almost 6 years, and I think, like, when I first started doing it, there's certainly, like, this tendency as a young person in an industry like this to, like, want to appeal to other people that may or may not be in a certain position, or, like, want to appear cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that tendency to, like, I don't want to say pigeonhole yourself into somewhere, but almost like appeal to somebody or do things that you think will be more appealing to people who, like, seem cool to you. And it's interesting. I think it's very easy to learn after a certain period of time, like, you're doing the opposite when you try to do that.
100%. Yeah. Perfect example is this band Harrison Gordon. Have you heard of them?
No.
They're really cool. I think they're from Chicago. Yeah? So
this guy knows every fucking band in the world, man.
He's got good music taste. Yeah. I fuck with him. But yeah, they're amazing, and they recently blew up. I think they had a song on TikTok go viral, but they were already doing well before that. But obviously the TikTok thing just took them to the next level. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that dude literally does not try to ever look fucking cool. And that's what makes him the coolest guy on the planet.
That's,
you know?
So
he just
sick.
Doesn't give a fuck. And he, like, memes it all day on the fucking band page. And just a funny ass. And their music is fucking even memeable in some of the lyrics. Like, it's just good shit. And yeah, I think we're definitely in an era where, like, you know, the unseriousness and is appreciated. You know, like like being real is appreciated these days more so than like early 2000s. It was about, like, you know, dressing up really, like, super emo and, like,
be the cool guy,
like, have all the aesthetics. I think now just, you know, give a fuck.
Yeah, just wear a t-shirt, do whatever you want. Do you know the artist Sugar Pit?
I don't know. I think I've heard of him.
He is my favorite Instagram account in the world. It's
really?
He's coming to the podcast on Monday. But his Instagram, he's really. But dude, his Instagram is so funny. He just doesn't give a fuck. It's just so funny. Like, I just love it. Like,
that's awesome.
Yesterday he posted this video where he was like, "This is my impression of Instagram," and then he just started. He sang like he was like, "I ain't never represent, baby," and I was like, "What the fuck does this mean?" It was just so funny.
So random.
Yeah, it's like shit like that. It's just like, I think it is interesting, right? Because I think we're in a landscape where everything is so hyper curated and so, like, pointed, and, like, you just want to do the right thing or whatever. And I think because, like, if you scroll through your TikTok, and, like, 9 out of 10 artists will be like, "I'm an indie alternative band from here and here, and you should share my music for this reason." It's like, because of that, doing the shit that is, like, I don't want to say gimmicky at all. Gimmicky is not the right word, but doing things that, like, make you feel like you're just like a human being, like a relatable human being. I think things like that are very, very underappreciated and undervalued in the music industry, and especially in the marketing space.
Definitely in both, marketing space and music industry for sure. Because I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's crazy too. An example is, like, music videos, right? People used to spend, and they still do, like, you can spend fucking $5-10 grand on a music video and, like, have this full-on production. But the crazy thing is, dude, like, you go on TikTok and see what blows up, and it's like a handheld iPhone video of someone singing into a fucking mic in the park or some shit that absolutely goes viral and changes that person's life. Yeah. When, like, they spent $0 on it. Yeah. Whereas, you know, things are changing, and people definitely, like, are more unserious these days. We live in the most unserious generation. Yeah. Like, Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they call it? It's like Eli said it today. He said like my damn, what is like the word they use for like the new generation? I think he said like fried. He was like he was like my sense of humor is so fried or something. But it's just like it's like that weird like new TikTok humor where it's just like the dumbest, like most nonsensical shit ever. It's just like what gets people attention. I think that like has validity and like that has so much punch because everything else is so like hyper curated on TikTok, and it's just like I think about this a lot. Next time you're scrolling through the TikTok, if you have it, realize how long it takes you to pinpoint if something's an ad or not. Like it is literally like a millisecond. Like when you're scrolling, you don't even think, like I've never had the conscious thought, is this an ad?
No.
You just know.
You know, and then you scroll past it right away.
Yeah, without even thinking, your fingers just move. You don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's facts.
It's so interesting, dude. Yeah. Are you guys on the TikTok?
We are on the Tiki-Talkie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going all right. Yeah. We have some TikTok friends. You know this guy Jay Somber on TikTok?
Yeah. So he played with you at Happy Daps, right?
Yeah. So actually he became one of my homies just through TikTok. We like followed each other on TikTok a long time ago, and we we've been buddies, and now I fucking love him. He's like feels like a little brother to me in a way, and super smart kid, super talented, but anyway, I don't know why I said that.
Did you meet my friend Jacob, who worked above the bridge at Happy Daps? He was shooting like some of the interviews we were doing.
I think so. Yeah. He had the camera.
Yeah, he realized at Happy Daps that him and Jay Somber live in the same building.
Oh, CSUN? Their dorms?
Yeah.
No way.
They realized they live in the exact same building.
That's so funny.
Which was like so crazy. Yeah. But that was how I met Jay Somber. But
that's so funny.
Yeah.
He fucking hates his dorm.
In terms of like a band dynamic, do you guys all write together collectively, or do one of you write and bring it, or do you write different things? Is it different every time? Like, how does kind of the writing process go? And are you like, do you jam songs? Do you write things acoustically? How's that usually go?
It's just always different, dude. Mm-hmm. It's always different. Like sometimes we write stuff together. Sometimes, he'll bring an idea or I'll bring an idea. A lot of the times I just, I also love writing, so I'll write shit at home and I'll just send them like demos of shit that I made, and then they'll either be like, this is cool, or I just like won't hear anything back.
They're never like, this is bad. Like,
the silence speaks for itself.
That's honestly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's me. I don't write back, but that's only because like I'd rather see it and I'll talk to you in person. Like writing it.
That makes sense.
I'll save it for later.
Yeah.
I always love everything he writes. Honestly.
There's also like no reason to like to be like, oh, this sucks. I think, dude, one of my least favorite, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when like not only in music but really in anything, when like you give something to somebody or send something to somebody or ask their opinion and they just say I don't like it and they don't say why. Like it's so fine if you don't like it, but like if you didn't think enough to tell me why you didn't like it, I don't really think you thought about if you liked it or not. I think you just like went off gut instinct,
Yeah.
It's like that is my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, constructive criticism is everything for sure. He's definitely an IRL guy. Like he's an in-person.
Really?
Yeah, kind of person. So we definitely he likes to play stuff live, and that's where his like experience I think comes to the table, I think we've avoided a lot of mistakes through his experience and just, guiding us to like, let's do it like this, or let's track this live and like see how it goes.
Oh, wow. Are those things you think you just pick up over time through recording and playing live?
Yeah. And then other bands do it too. You always want to look up to the bands that are up to.
Yeah.
Listen to their interviews. They'll tell you how they do it. They're just giving you the answers right there.
Do you guys track everything live?
When we first started, he'll do like a demo. Then we work on it, and then we bring it to the studio, and then we start tracking it live. Just do different things.
Gotcha.
Then, we track it live, and he'll mix it, and then he'll send it back to us, and we listen to it, and be like, yeah, we're going to take it to the studio.
Nice, dude. I feel like it is really important, very underrated, I think, to just, like, not get penciled into writing one way, I feel like. Like, you always got to, like, just try different shit. And I think, like, honestly, I think a lot of artists that get stopped in their track, or even like writer's block and stuff like that, it's like I think people sometimes just forget that like there's more than one way to do shit, and like there's literally not just like one way to do this. Dude, I think that is especially true for the industry side of stuff too. I think like that really bothers me when people like claim that they know the answer, they know the how you blow up, how you find whatever, how you find success, how you find followers, but like you said, success is so like undefinable. It means a million different things.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole like if you post on TikTok 4 times a day at these times, you're gonna like what does that even mean? It's there's literally, you could write down 1,000 different art. Like, you probably could write down the 1,000 most popular artists on Spotify right now, and I would guarantee that 500 of them probably blew up in entirely different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
that's what we were just talking about the other day. Like, we're careful to listen to so many people's opinions who like haven't even done it. Like, so many people that haven't even done their thing yet think they know how to do it. Like, listen to people that are more successful than you. You know.
Yeah. Also, just listen. Yeah. I think I think the smartest people, and I think as a kid when I was younger, I was terrible at listening, and I had some experiences I think that made me realize how terrible at listening I was, and I really took them to heart. But I think that's part of why I love doing this so much too. I get the privilege of listening to so many cool people's stories. But I think like the smartest people and that I've met in my life, and the people that I really, really look up to, are people that never ever, like maybe not ever, but like very rarely will talk about themselves. Yeah. And are way more apt to asking questions and listening and things like that. I think it's a really, really easy thing to do, to like spew random bullshit and facts about yourself. Yeah. I don't think, and there's nothing like inherently wrong with it. You know, if you're with your friends, you should talk about your experiences, but it's just like, especially like a first meeting sense. That's a very LA thing that I think I've picked up since I moved here. It was interesting. My girlfriend was here for she lives in Michigan, but she was here for like a couple weeks beginning of the month, and that was something she said that she realized never being in LA really was just like how often people just like talk about themselves. Dude, I had a friend instantly.
I had a friend from New York tell me that like they were like so fucking weird when I come out to LA. Like the first thing people ask you is, what do you do? Like if you fucking ask somebody that in New York, they'll be like, what is it to you? Who the fuck's asking? You know, but in LA, it's
I'm here now.
Like, I do this, I do that, I fucking do that. So I totally get what you mean. Yeah. It's an LA thing for sure.
I felt bad though, because honestly, I don't think I was that aware or sensitive to it until she brought it up to me. And then she left. This was like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, now over the past like couple weeks, I've been like, damn, like you're very right. Like I wasn't quite like, I don't know. I don't think I was as aware of it.
The reason why people are like that out here is because when you meet somebody and within the first fucking 3 seconds of meeting them, you ask them what they do, it's because you're about to make a judgment on them based off of what they do.
Interesting.
As opposed to like just getting like how they meeting them, like just have a normal conversation and judge them off of who they are, not what they fucking do or who they know or this and that. But that's what it is out here. Everybody like they'll decide if they feel like talking to you for 10 more minutes based off of what you do and who you are, rather than like, is this a cool person? Yeah. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah, dude, that's so true. Wow, that's such an interesting way to think about it. And it's also it's crazy. I feel like it almost made me feel bad that I wasn't that aware of it until she brought it up, because I was like, am I that guy? Like,
no, dude. Well, you clearly are a lover of human beings. Like you love to meet people, and you know you have the interest and the patience to sit and like listen to so many different stories, and not everybody has that. So
thank you, dude.
For you, I think you're you encourage people to highlight the best parts of themselves.
Thank you, bro. That's a great call. I really appreciate that.
Of course, dude.
That's something that like I think it's funny when I had those experiences that I was referring to, and like I realized I should be a better listener. Probably like one of the most fundamental changes of my entire life, because like I don't know, I think there was a point, like I was talking about, like I think like when you're in art from a very young age and you're around a lot of artists and doing stuff like that, there is certainly when you're like younger and probably don't have a very like defined sense of yourself, there's like this weird like this really weird intuition to like, I don't, maybe it's the right word, like prove yourself kind of, right? Yeah. And it's very interesting. I think like around the time when I realized I should be a better listener, I also kind of felt comfortable not telling people about myself, because at the end of the day, it's like what you do isn't you. Yeah. And that was a very difficult thing for me to learn. I think partially because I was very like, I still am obsessed with what I do. I love it. I think about it every single day, for free and for money. I'm just like, I just love it, you know? But it's like, dude. Yeah, but it's like because of that, like I think for a long time I didn't have a very deep sense of self that was outside of what I did for a living, or what I did for a long time, not as a living, just as a passion. And I think in the past year, 2 years, I've been lucky enough to develop like a better balance of like, here's when I'm working, and then here's me. Do you guys think like being in music for so long, like do you have that balance kind of nailed down where it's like this is me in Grave Secrets working, and then this is like what I do outside of it? How do you kind of maintain that balance of things?
I wouldn't even know how to answer that, to be honest, bro. I just try to be myself in any room, bro. You know? What I do is what I do, but just being myself in any room, it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
He really is like, that's not, it may sound like a not so detailed answer, but it's facts. He's just always himself permanently, no matter what room he's in.
Those are the coolest fucking people in the world to me, bro. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He just doesn't try to pretend to be anybody he's not, for sure.
Are you from LA as well?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
I lived here in the valley and everything. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I wonder if that's like an adopted mentality. If you move to LA and we don't realize it, like the whole it is weird that I think that's cool, because honestly that should just be how it is. I shouldn't point that out. But I mean, I think it's like that everywhere too. I mean, there are certainly people like that. I think in the Bay Area where I'm from, I have one friend I'm thinking about. His name's Isaiah, and this motherfucker, and I've pointed this out my whole life, because I've known him since I was a kid. This motherfucker is the exact same person every single day around everybody, and I love him for it. He just like is so much himself, almost to a fault where like he won't change himself around anybody at all. But it's
we all know people like that.
Yeah,
kind of how our drummer is too. Oh, I don't know. I think
that's beautiful.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I think that's so cool. Like I think
so too.
This idea that we have to like alter our personality to to be like different in different rooms, it's so weird. It's so
I definitely am a committer of that sin, because I've been in, my job is like sales.
You got to,
I have to, dude. I literally have to. Sometimes I have to literally be a fucking prick. Depending on who I'm talking to, you just have to mold yourself, but it's just always different.
Damn, that's gotta be such a that'd be so hard. That you live in two polar opposite worlds. Yeah. Well, maybe not actually. I guess as a musician, you're still trying to sell yourself in a very, very different way. Yeah. But it is, at the end of the day, you are marketing yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think one thing that has helped us a little bit is just like becoming friends with people, meeting people and getting to know them and connecting with certain people. And it can bring like bigger opportunities. Just be a normal person, don't be a weirdo. Yeah. You'll meet people, and there's a lot of opportunity out here.
I always say, don't make connections, make friends.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's infinitely more valuable.
100%.
Because that's valuable not only in like a business sense, but also in a personal sense. Yeah.
I was talking to Graham from Sad Park about that. He was telling me, I don't know if somebody told him that, but we were talking about that, and he was just saying like, I just try to become like friends, genuine friends with as many people as I can, and it's led to a lot of opportunities for them. And it's how you get invited to different places, different shows, tours, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Like that.
It's also just like I don't know, I think a lot of people would like say the friend thing, but then like never go out of their way to like hang out with that person. Yeah. Like they're, oh, that's my friend, but I only see them when we're like doing something business related. Yeah. It's like, is it really your friend then?
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody, I don't know, at least for me, like I don't have that many like friends, but I know, there are like some people that I've met through like the band scene that are my fucking homies.
That's so
we're probably
cool,
gonna be homies
bro.
Forever.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Want to talk about the record a little bit before we end here. Okay. It's been out for like not a year yet, but like close to, like 8-9 months.
October is when it dropped. Okay. So this October it'll be a year old.
Gotcha. Okay, so first off, congratulations. That's Thank you. Sick. Yeah. And then having the album be out for like, almost, 8-9 months, whatever. While recording it and then also post releasing it, what do you think are the biggest things you learned from that cycle?
Definitely going forward, we are going to demo every track before it goes to the studio. Gotcha. Live demo every track. Like spend the time to go, whether it's just with like our little mics, at the studio ourselves. And that'll just give you more time to dissect the songs and add and change things that you want to change, and it'll let you sit on it, listen to it in your car 100 times until you come up with the right change that you need to make to it. Also, it'll help you build a more cohesive album where like certain songs could flow into the other songs, or just shit like that. So that's something from the recording process that we're going to do differently this time. And also just I would say like having a better release plan next time around. Maybe like I would have added another like music video. I would have planned like another live version of the song around it. Because the thing is, like, most bands think that all the work is done once the album comes out, but that's when like 20% of the work is done. The other 80% is actually like promoting the album and touring it and playing it live and just marketing it on the internet. So next time I would demo the tracks out, make sure the album's like fully demoed out, we're happy with it, then take it to the studio, do it in one 6-7 day studio session, and then build content like a couple music videos and a live session and an interview, and keep stuff in your pocket to post about after it's already been out for a month or two. And just like release it like along the way. That's how I would do it next time.
It is that's a really insightful answer. I think like that is a weird thing, dude, that like people will spend all this time on a record and they'll just drop it and then it's like the promo's over.
Dude, it's mentally
it's exhausting.
You're mentally fucked. Because think about it, like when you spend all this time and energy on an album and then it drops, and the idea and the fucking whole goal is that it blows up and like everybody loves it and it fucking goes crazy, and 99% of the time that doesn't happen right away. So like the mental defeat sometimes of putting all this work into something and not having it blow up the way that you wanted it to, it's like mentally taxing, and sometimes it makes you want to take a break from those songs because you've heard them fucking 5,000 times before it came out. So
that's such an interesting concept too. It's like you've heard those a million times, and then it's everybody else's first time hearing them. So even the ones that people are stoked on, you're probably not as stoked on anymore.
That's a real thing. So.
Dominic Fike just did this listening event in LA, and a friend of mine went to it, and he was telling me about it, and he was saying like, because he just dropped like an album of demos pretty much, and he was saying at this event that like all the songs that he was playing there were recorded within the last month, and he said the reason they did that was because every other record he dropped before that, he'd gotten like deathly sick of the songs by the time they came out, because they'd been done for a year and a half.
You lose your passion to promote them because you've already heard them so many fucking times when they're brand new to other people. So it's a real thing. I bet songs get old in the live context that way really often too. Sometimes, some songs are just always fun live. Like Mood Ring is so fucking fun live. Anxious is always fun live. There's certain songs that are just really, really fun live no matter what. And then there's some songs that you're just like, fuck, this song's up next. All right.
Has your favorite song, I guess like on the record, but also live, has that changed over time? Like, have you kind of swapped favorites on the record? Like, what is both your guys' favorite songs from the album?
You want to go first? From the record or from like all of our releases?
From the last album.
I like Preacher's Nightmare.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, Preacher's Nightmare is cool. Mood Ring is the banger. And then, I mean, all of them pretty much.
Yeah.
We haven't played a couple of them live yet, though.
Yeah, there's a couple that we haven't played, like Distant and Son of Me. They're just like a little bit more complex and just different,
Different vibe, live. We try to keep the energy like late the whole time, but maybe one day we'll play them live.
Yeah.
We try not to let people have a moment of like relaxation while we're playing.
Interesting. Okay.
We want them to constantly just be like
moving.
Yeah. Just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I also do see the perspective though of like, I have a friend she came on the podcast a couple months ago. Her name is Maddie Davis. She described something to me that was so interesting, and I'd never considered it this way. But she was talking about how she builds her set list off of like numerical rankings of the songs, right, based on their energy levels. So like she was saying, like, if she has like a 10, she'll have a 1 come after it. So that way, like the next 10 hits even harder.
Yeah.
And that was a really interesting moment I was thinking about. And that's something I've considered, I think, a lot more recently when I've been like just talking to musicians or whatever. But like that's like a super interesting concept. But I also totally feel that. And I think like there is that level, because your guys' set is like that. Your guys' set is very much like I don't have a breath. And it feels like it's over in 2 seconds, because it's just like you're just moving.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you guys I think 3 times, and I've never been to a Grave Secret show that wasn't just like everyone's moving the whole time. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the goal. That's what we want.
Yeah. What was the name of the record, the title? What was the title?
This most recent one?
Yeah.
Till Your Lungs Fall Out. So it was just a phrase that came out of Mood Ring. So I think there's a lyric in there that's like, it was about like screaming in your car till your lungs fall out kind of thing. And then we just thought it would be cool for the record.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of how we came up with it.
Yeah, it's a really cool title. It's very visual. Like, it evokes a really visual, like, I don't know, I think of a really specific image there.
Hell yeah. Shout out to our manager, Johnny, because he helped us really dial in the vision for the album.
Sick.
Like, he thought of the idea of the album cover. He set it up. He actually works at Jackson, and they've got a sick warehouse, so he, like, had us up there and, like,
Sweet.
had the whole set built already, and then had our drummer, like, write the TYLFO out, and then he got the balloon and, like, took the picture. So that was all Johnny.
That's so cool, bro.
Yeah.
I always say the best managers are, like, artists or creative directors of some kind.
Dude, that's what Johnny is.
Yeah.
That's his position at Jackson. That's his whole thing.
Oh, really? Creative director?
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes, I don't know, I can't speak for you, Johnny, but I feel like sometimes he maybe, I don't know if he's ever doubted himself or been shy about the fact that that's his strength, but I agree with you, dude. I think, like, aesthetics are so important, and the creative direction is really, like, what people are fucking looking at.
Yeah.
Right? And so to have somebody that's, like, talented at that is super clutch. And yeah, I want to lean on him more. Like, I want him to, I definitely think we should lean on him more for that side of stuff.
There's a lot of people that can make good music. There's not a lot of people who can make a good world.
Yeah.
I think that is years harder.
It's way harder.
And to do both is nearly impossible.
Yeah, even us, I feel like we could do better on that front. So we want to work on that going forward for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see it. Last thing I'll ask you.
Sorry if I'm itching my nose a lot, dude. I have fucking allergies.
Oh, you're good,
do
bro.
Cocaine in the bathroom. I literally have allergies.
I promise.
I promise.
If you guys, like, I'll ask both of you this question. If you had, like, one message that you could spread through your music when Grave Secrets is done, or even now, what would that message be? Like, if you could share it to the world.
Do you want to go first or me?
Oh, you can go first.
All right. So if I had one message, it would be that, like, if you're listening to our music, right? A lot of our music is real stories about shit that's actually happened to us. But the message is, like, it's kind of corny, but you're not alone. Like, we're all, I think people try to, like, hide from their problems a lot or pretend like they're all fine. Like, you ask somebody on the street, how you doing? Like, I'm good. Probably not that good. Yeah. And we're all not that good. But at least know that, like, everybody feels that way and everyone's gonna be all right. I would say that would be, like, the theme.
That's beautiful. Yeah, like, we all are collectively feeling that, so let's not act like we're not.
Yeah, we're all down sometimes, and that's okay. You know, I think the shame of, like, being down is what keeps you down. You know.
Wow.
It's good to just feel your feelings sometimes.
Yeah, totally. What do you think, Kevin?
I don't know. You said it pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a message, just be yourself, you know. Have fun, you know, come together with people, do things that you love, you know, never give up, just stuff like that. You know?
Hell yeah.
Because it is part of being a band. Like, we play music, but, you know, the same thing is, like, trying to be a doctor or anything. Like, just, like, you got to have a drive, you know, and you got to keep your focus and stuff like that, you know, especially for us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Grave Secrets.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we got to link up soon and hopefully put together some more content.
Yeah, bro.
Work with you guys on some stuff.
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be super fun. We got to hang, too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them where they could see you on the Deathlands tour.
Yeah, so Deathlands tour is in July. We're playing, I'm geographically challenged, but we're playing, like, Sacramento, I think.
All kinds of places.
Some places by the Bay Area, some places and some other places. San Diego.
Challenged.
Fucking a bunch of places. But for sure, if you're in LA, pull up to the Telegram show and, like, wear running shoes or something that you can just absolutely spend the whole don't wear running shoes, but wear whatever the fuck you want, but just be ready because it's gonna be a lot. I'm telling you, Chico, us, Strawberry Fuzz, Deathlands, it's gonna be fucking rowdy. So
beautiful. And then where can they follow you and everything? So
follow us on Instagram, grave.secrets, on Spotify, just Grave Secrets, and same with Apple Music. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the places you can find us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. That was a really fun one. Love your music. It was great talking to you guys.
Love you guys.
Hell yeah. Much love. All right. Beautiful. Music matters.